It's the Wrestling News Now report for February 25th, 2015. This week, I'll be discussing this week's Raw and the ratings of this week's Raw. What's going on with Brock Lesnar? Is he leaving WWE? Is he going to UFC? What's going on? There's a lot of controversy there. Also, we'll be talking about the upcoming WrestleMania, and I'll be discussing the rumored matches, and of course, obviously, the matches that are already set, and other news as well. So let's get right into it. This week's Raw, the ratings went up. The Raw last couple weeks, it had been down somewhat from the usual February numbers. Most of the time during February, that's when Raw goes up, the ratings. And this, if you take a look at prior to this week, now the ratings were up, which, let me just go ahead and pull up the rating here, 4.1 million viewers. So that obviously is up from last week. Last week's number was 3.9 million viewers, or I guess it rounds out to around 4 million viewers. 3.997 million viewers. That, and then the week before, 3.6 million viewers. So it had gone down after the February 2nd show, which was 4.2 million viewers. So basically, Raw for February, these have not been great numbers. Now, of course, this was the first Raw. This past Monday's Raw was the first Raw, which began the build for WrestleMania 31. This was like the first, because this is the first real show that's going to build up all the feuds for WrestleMania. This on the February 23rd Raw. So a lot of people thought, okay, it was after a pay-per-view. A lot of people thought this is going to be, a big show. To be honest, it was nothing special, really. I was expecting a little bit more, but it definitely piqued people's interest. People watched it. I don't know what the competition was for exactly for cable that night. We can take a look here. Let me just pull this up. Better Call Saul, 2.8 million viewers. That was one of the WWE's. A couple weeks ago, Better Call Saul debuted on the AMC, and which I think was there was a week that Raw got 3.6 million viewers, and a lot of people were saying that Better Call Saul, which is some kind of spin-off of Breaking Bad. I've never seen Breaking Bad. I've never seen Better Call Saul either, but people were saying, a lot of the people on the internet, wrestling news journalists, were saying that Better Call Saul was the reason for the 3.6 million viewers. And I'm not really sure if that was the case or not for that rating 2 weeks ago. But it's a possibility. I think it was the second episode, I think, because I think it was on Sunday and it was on Monday, so it was the second episode. And then the show that was third for the night, Better Call Saul this week, third for the night, third place. Second, right behind Raw, it was Love and Hip Hop 5. I have no clue what this show is. Now I guess it got a higher share. Now it had less overall viewers than Better Call Saul, but it had a better share. I guess a better 18 to 49-year-old rating here. This is just what I'm looking at here from TVByTheNumbers.com. So this is not an exact correct list of when it comes to overall viewers, the ranking of the overall viewers. But no, overall viewers of Raw seems to matter more than the actual. Like they used to always mention, like, oh, this show got a 3.0, this Raw got a 3.0, this Raw got a 2.5 or whatever. Now they don't really mention that anymore when these news reports come out about the ratings. They mostly talk about overall viewership, because I just think that it doesn't, because sometimes some weeks Raw will have like a 3.0, but it'll have less viewers than the week before when it had like 3.2. It doesn't really make any sense. I don't know. I don't really understand the whole rating system, but when you just say how many overall viewers, it is a lot easier to understand it. Like some of the competition Raw had, Black Ink Crew 3, Street Outlaws, American Dad, Robot Chicken, or that was actually later, at midnight. Big Bang Theory, and then you had on the networks, The Voice, Gotham, Bachelor, Scorpion, Castle. I don't know if wrestling fans watch these shows. I have no clue. I saw the first episode of Gotham. It wasn't terrible, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. So I didn't keep watching it. Sleepy Hollow season finale. So they didn't really have very stiff competition for the night. Now, like 2 weeks ago, it was, I guess, the second episode of Better Call Saul, or a repeat from the night before, or something. Or the first episode of the night before. I don't know if that was the second episode or first episode repeat. I don't know. Better Call Saul. But the ratings right now are definitely down. Now what I'm going to talk about here is, let's take a look back at last year, February 2014. Let's compare the ratings from last year, and let's see exactly if the ratings truly are down, like people have been saying. So February 3rd, 2014, 4.2 million viewers. Then let's take a look at February 2nd, 2015, 4.2 million viewers. So it's about the same. That's exactly the same, pretty much. From the looks of it, this year, this year, February 2nd, 2015, actually got a little bit more viewers, several 100,000 more viewers, or I guess several thousand more viewers than the show around the same time last year. February 10th, 2014, 4.3 million viewers. And February 9th, 2015, this is the big one right here, 3.6 million viewers. That's unbelievable. That is an unbelievable comparison. That's like what, 800,000 less viewers? That is unbelievable. And that's people who pretty much watch the show all the way throughout. Now, there are people who just kind of go, this is live viewers. Now, I don't think this is not DVR. This is live viewers. These aren't people who watch it, find some way to find it on the internet or whatever. This is television viewers who watch it live. And some people do just go in and out, watch bits and pieces. They watch other shows. They channel surf. That, for the most part, isn't a part of what these ratings are. Like, if you really take a look at, I've heard that the overall rating of Raw, if you just had people who were channel surfing or watched maybe 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there, or maybe watch 10 minutes of the show overall, it'd be several million. It'd be 7-8 million viewers overall. But these are people who watch the majority of the show, which is crazy when you think about it. That this many people watch the majority of Raw live. I watch it on DVR. There's no way I could ever watch the show live. I tried one time to watch part of the show live. I recorded the first half of the show and then watched the rest of it live. And that was really, really brutal to watch that part of the show live. It was not fun. So I can definitely see not being able to fast forward through ads, and that wasn't fun. But then let's get to the February 16th episode of let's see. Okay, February 17th, 2014. Here we go. 4.3 million viewers. Let me say that again. 4.3 million viewers, February 17th, 2014. Then you have February 16th, 2015, 3.9 million viewers. So it's about 400,000 less viewers. Not as bad, but still not good. So then you have February 24th, 2014, 4.6 million viewers, which is I believe was the night after Elimination Chamber. Could be wrong. And then you have February 23rd, 2015, 4.1 million viewers. So that's not so it's around every week compared to last year. There are definitely probably less people watching television in general in some ways than there used to be. But then you take a look at, the SNL 40 show. I mean, that got a big time rating. Even though the Oscars were down from usual years, that got a decent rating. Wasn't great, but it's still, 30 something million people. Something to laugh about, But so let's just take a look and let's see if we can kind of predict now what the rate, if this is going to stay. And I doubt that. Now, here's the thing. The Raws, sometimes, now here's the one thing I do know that's going to be down, or it's going to be a low rating. Maybe not down, but the Raw before WrestleMania is always never a good rating for some reason. I don't know why that is. I don't know if there's something on TV that week, March Madness or something, NBA, NCAA basketball. I don't know what the deal is. That's a possibility. That could be one of the reasons why the last Raws before Mania sometimes don't do well because they're going up against basketball, maybe college basketball. But you look at you take a look at the rating. Let's just take a look at the rating for next week so next week's Raw. I guess it's going to be February 20. What day would that be? I don't even know. I have to think about it for a second. March 1st. Okay, so March 1st. That's going to be next week's Raw. So let's compare last year's Raw. Would be the same time frame, March 3rd, 2014. 4.5 million viewers. So I would say it's not after a pay-per-view, this show coming up next week. So I would say it's going to be probably around a 4 million, 3.8, between 3.8 and 4 million viewers. But I think so those are all the ratings. Those are last year's ratings, this year's ratings. Comparing all those things, here's how I see it. What does this all mean? Okay, what does all of this ratings talk mean? Does this really matter? Is it a big deal that the ratings are down? I think it is to a degree. A big deal, because here's the thing. I believe that the ratings being down shows that WWE there isn't any interest right now from casual wrestling fans in WWE. There isn't any, even though you have all of these, even though it's the build to WrestleMania, that should be the time when people come back to watch wrestling, when they come back to watch WWE. But for whatever reason, they aren't. There aren't as many. There are people who have come back, some, because Monday Night Football is over with. There's still a lot of competition on television on Monday nights. It's still there's still new TV shows every week on Mondays, so they still have to put up with that. But there's also the argument. Well, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of people watching television. That means your show's going to do well too, because there's a lot of people watching television because there's a big show on. That's always one argument. But hey, Raw, it was the top-rated cable show for Monday night. That's good. That's great. It's still, that's still a great achievement when you think about it, with how down just creatively the show is. It is the creative right now, the stuff that's been going on the last year and a half in WWE, 90% of it has been pretty much, I'll just say it, garbage for the most part. It's been pretty much garbage, and it's been up and down like this for a long, long time. A long time. I would say probably, since around 2002, 2003, it's been up and down like this. And look, when you're making 52, when you're making shows, doing Raws, SmackDowns, pay-per-views, 52 weeks a year, you're not going to have a home run every single week. But when you're doing a 3-hour show, and it legitimately is a 3-hour show if you have the WWE app. It is legitimately a 3-hour show if you don't, if you have that as well. Because a lot of the times they'll show the matches, in between commercials and everything. So it's just, here's the thing. I'm going to keep watching. Only because I kind of look at it in some ways. It's just interesting to watch where it's going to go. Is it just going to keep going like this forever and ever and ever and ever? Is it going to be like this 20 years from now, where it's just going to be 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, 1 pay-per-view a month? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it's going to be like that. You never know what could happen in 20 years. Maybe Triple H taking over at some point becomes, this, that really helps WWE, because a lot of people will say that NXT is this great, amazing product. Now, the specials are good for the most part. The matches are very good. To me, matches don't make everything. They help. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy matches, but it's not everything. It's not the end. It's not the be all end all. You need to have more than just good wrestling on your TV show, especially for casual fans. Especially just so you can be interested in it. Just if you want to watch good wrestling matches, I could go. If you had WWE Network, you could go on WWE Network, watch a good match right then and there. Go on YouTube, wherever. You can watch a good match from any wrestling promotion, whatever. You don't have to watch wrestling. I mean, if you're the kind of person who doesn't like using the internet or whatever, and just like watching television, fine. You only want to see wrestling on television, just keep watching. You don't want to see that stuff, fine. But WWE right now, it's just the 3-hour shows are so hard to get through. They are sluggish. They're constantly just. There's so much filler. They extend every single segment to as long as it possibly could go until you're just completely bored out of your mind, and then they'll just keep it going when you are bored out of your mind. 20-30 minute talking segments where it's just these long diatribes just go on and on and on and on forever. But hey, if you're fine, but here's the thing. I have no problem though. If you like the show currently, good for you. If you can find some entertainment from it, good. I don't really see anything good about it right now, and it hasn't been very interesting for a very, very long time, especially I would say 2013. In late 2013, that's really when it started to really fall. The interest level, my interest level in WWE dropped because of just how, it just feels like it feels like they're just going through the motions. True. I mean, a lot of people have been saying that for a long time, though. A lot of people have been saying WWE is going through the motions for a very long time. but it is more apparent than ever that that's what they're doing. Because it is so difficult to write a 3-hour show and then write 2 hours of SmackDown. It's just too difficult. It's too hard to do. And WWE, the writers, Vince McMahon, Triple H, all of these people involved in it, they can't handle it. I'm not saying that if it was a 2-hour show, it would be 10 times better. It would definitely be a start. Because initially, when the 3-hour show started, it was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. There was no difference really than was before. But then, a year later, after they started doing 3-hour shows in 2013, it just started to really fall off. Now, part of that reason is changes in who writes the show, a million different reasons. But this show, Raw, SmackDown, I don't even care about SmackDown anymore. SmackDown they're just lining their pockets with SmackDown. SmackDown doesn't even matter anymore. You enjoy it, fine, but I don't enjoy it. But right now, they just don't really care anymore about I don't know. They guess they do care to a degree. WWE does care about pleasing the fans to some degree because of the whole Daniel Bryan Roman Reigns thing, which I'm so sick of. I am so sick of it. I don't even care about it anymore. I don't care about it at all. I'm done with it. They've pretty much destroyed Daniel Bryan. They haven't done that great of a job with Roman Reigns. They've kind of destroyed him as well. The crowd doesn't really know who to cheer. They don't know who to boo. They're confused. It really is. It's similar to the John Cena Rob Van Dam feud of 2006. If you remember that, it is similar because both guys, people didn't know who to cheer because ECW was around. They were building up ECW, and ECW was this new brand, and they're kind of made out to be heels to a degree. And John Cena is still getting booed, obviously, by a lot of the smarter fans, internet fans, whatever. And it's very similar to that, and I don't think it's going to end well. I don't think Roman Reigns is going to be a year from now is going to be. You never know. Maybe he'll do something that you never know what will happen in wrestling. But right now, if he stays the course, and this is exactly the way he's going to be for the next couple of years, he's not going to be the top guy in the company. He's not going to be the next John Cena. He's not going to be the next Rock. He's not going to be the next Steve Austin. It's not going to happen. And there's no way he's going to be the next any of those guys. It's not going to happen unless something clicks in him where it's just one day he just comes out and he's like this. He has tons of charisma or something, or they stop writing his promos. I don't know what. But could he be just like a good upper mid-card guy, or maybe better off as a heel? I don't know. But it's definitely, right now, the WWE is in a complete it's boredom. Everything is boring. Everything is boring. That's the best thing that I would say right now. But we do have WrestleMania coming up. As boring as it is, it's and there's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there, a lot of crazy news stories. Let's move on to one story that nobody knows what's going on with. Nobody knows what this story is about. Brock Lesnar. Why did Brock Lesnar storm off? Why did he leave Raw early? This is this news story I've been hearing about the last 48 hours. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that Brock Lesnar, for some reason, left Raw early. He didn't stay for the whole show. He didn't appear on the show. Because I was wondering, I didn't think about it until I actually didn't think about Brock Lesnar not being on the show until after it was over with. Just because I don't know. I just because he's not on the. She's hardly ever on the show. So because of that, I didn't really think about it. But anyways, so nobody knows the exact story, but the rumors say that has something to do with the business relationship between Vince McMahon and Brock Lesnar. The business relationship between Brock Lesnar and WWE. So probably it could be something to do with him wanting to go to UFC or him. Who knows? There's no exact details right now, but I'm sure over the next couple of weeks there will be a lot of details about this whole story. Or you never know. It may never come out what happened. Kind of like the CM Punk thing. It took several months for the true story to come out. But if he shows up next week on Raw, then there's probably nothing really to worry about. Because it's not that bad, obviously, if he shows up next week on Raw. But next week's Raw is going to be very, very interesting when it comes to, even though everything is boring, like I said, at least that's one thing that will be interesting to see. I don't know if it'll be exciting, but it will be interesting to see if Brock Lesnar shows up on Raw. But right now, there's really no details. So there really isn't any real point to discuss it right now in too much detail. Because there's no details. So we have WrestleMania 31 coming up. March 29th. And there's already 2 matches, 100% official. Brock Lesnar, who we don't know if he's going to be around then. We don't know yet, but let's just pretend that he's going to be. Brock Lesnar defending the title, the WWE World Heavyweight title against Roman Reigns. That right now is set in stone for the time being. We'll see if it's not. I guess it's not set in stone because we don't know what's going on with Brock Lesnar. Who knows? But will they put the title? This has been discussed the past month. Will they put the title on Roman Reigns? Of course they're going to put the title on Roman Reigns. Of course. It's pretty obvious that Reigns is going to be the champion if at some point this year, and it's probably going to happen at WrestleMania. So might as well just put him the title on WrestleMania. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Who knows? Let's just wait and see. I'm of the opinion right now. Let's just wait and see. Let's put the title on Roman Reigns. Okay, put the title on Roman Reigns. Sure, he's not ready. But let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens when he gets the title. Because him not having the title and him not getting the shot, all it's going to do is just going to delay it. Eventually, he's going to get the title, but all it's going to do is just delay it temporarily, and eventually he will get the title at some point because he's the kind of guy that Vince McMahon wants to be champion. So might as well just do it at WrestleMania. I know that Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan would be a much better match in the ring, but Daniel Bryan already had his WrestleMania moment. He had an unfortunate injury, and he had to leave. But the thing is, WWE has not done a very good job of building him up since he came back. He's been booed somewhat. I mean, it's not been good. So both guys are damaged right now, Reigns and Bryan. So just might as well just go through with it. I know it's going to anger a lot of people, but just go through with it. Just put the title on Roman Reigns. Let's just see what happens. Triple H versus Sting. Not the best match up. I mean, I don't really care about seeing Sting wrestle Triple H. I'd rather see him wrestle, maybe The Undertaker would be more interesting. Brock Lesnar. Even Daniel Bryan or Roman Reigns would be more interesting in some ways. I suspect that Sting will probably win. You never know with Triple H. You never know what's going to happen. But I suspect Sting will win this match. I don't know if this is going to be a very good match, though. I don't know. This could be a terrible match. You never know. Triple H sometimes will do these. He'll have these matches go really, really long. He'll have the guy he wrestles do some things. Maybe he's not, do some move. Like Scott Steiner versus Triple H is a good example. This was obviously not a great match. They actually had 2 matches 2 months in a row. That was kind of weird. 2 pay-per-views back to back. But I mean, Sting was okay. I mean, Sting was okay in TNA. He wasn't, the last couple of years, he was fine in the ring for a guy his age. I mean, he was compared probably to most guys his age who were wrestling. Who wrestled in their mid-50s, early 50s. He was pretty good. But one thing I do want to say, I do want to see him speak at some point. I would like to see him talk. It should just be mute. I think that's stupid. Then the matches that obviously are probably going to happen. One match, definitely. John Cena versus Rusev. This is interesting because a lot of people are really into it right now. There's some people who are really into this feud. They think it's really good. They think that, I don't know if they think that Rusev's going to get over with this or what, but I think it's kind of like similar like Rocky 4 or something. Ivan Drago versus Rocky or something. My problem with it is Rusev's going to lose at the end. At least at WrestleMania. It's possible they could come right back at Extreme Rules the next month and Rusev could beat Cena in some kind of fluke way or whatever. But then by then he won't be undefeated anymore. He'll lose a lot of steam, I think, if he's not undefeated anymore, in my opinion. They don't push the undefeated thing too much. They don't push it like Goldberg being undefeated, the same thing. But I think that once Rusev loses, it's over. Just like with Bray, just the way it was with Bray Wyatt, or a couple years ago when Cena was feuding with Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler beat Cena in a ladder match at TLC or TLC match or something, and then like a couple weeks later, Cena beat Ziggler in a steel cage match, and this destroyed Ziggler for a few months, actually. He didn't really do anything, actually. Then he won the title, he got a concussion, all that stuff happened. Never really been the same. But Cena, once you lose to Cena, for the most part, it's pretty much over. You look at the guys who beat Cena and Cena never had to get his win back. Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan. These guys never had to lose to John Cena immediately after beating them. Now, of course, CM Punk did lose a couple years later to John Cena in a match on Raw. But Cena, I don't think, actually ever pinned or submitted CM Punk once up until that point, in like 2013 or something. So, if you lose to John Cena, either immediately after beating him, or just losing him outright without ever beating him, you're pretty much screwed, basically. Which it shouldn't be a big deal that you lose to John Cena, but for some reason it is. You look at Bray Wyatt. I mean, that's the best example. Bray Wyatt has never been the same. They've done a decent job of building him back up to face The Undertaker, which he'll probably beat The Undertaker. I suspect he will. You never know. Undertaker could beat him. Who knows? But I suspect Undertaker's going to lose to Bray Wyatt. So that's another match that's probably 100% going to happen. It's not 100% official yet, but it probably will happen. I mean, obviously it's going to happen. So another match that actually has been confirmed, besides Sting, Triple H, and Reigns and Brock Lesnar, is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. This they started doing this last year. I thought it was okay last year. It was pretty good. It's just another one of these matches that is just a match to get all the guys on the show, as many guys on the show as possible. Who's going to win it? We got to wait and see who's going to be in it. But if they have, obviously they would want to probably build somebody up. I don't think that Dean Ambrose is going to be in the match, because let me just quickly mention this match is probably going to happen. Intercontinental title match, Fatal 4-Way match. Dolph Ziggler, Dean Ambrose, R-Truth, Wade, Bad News Barrett. This looks to be a match at WrestleMania, or they're going to be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Be able to put the IC title on the line in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I I don't know. We'll see about that. But in my opinion, Ambrose should be a good guy to choose if he's going to be in the Battle Royal. But if he's not, I don't really know. I mean, there's not many guys you can really pick. I mean, Daniel Bryan, is he going to be in it? I mean, he hasn't. I'm going to mention the match he's rumored to be in a minute. But if he's going to be in it, I would pick him. Some people who are saying maybe Curtis Axel would win it because they may be giving him so much TV time and, talk about the whole thing about him, not getting eliminated from the Royal Rumble. But I doubt that would happen. That'd be ridiculous. I'm looking at a list of WWE wrestlers here, the current roster, and there isn't really anyone. I guess Luke Harper is a possibility. I don't think so, though. They haven't really been building him up. Big Show, Kane, I guess they're a possibility. Mizdow, maybe that's a possibility as well because they're supposed to. Him and the Miz were actually they're in it. They've been announced as being in it. Eric Rowan, Ryback. Sheamus, if he's not this other match I'm going to talk about in a minute. Jack Swagger. Not really anyone that I would. I mean, the only one here that I would say, if I'm going to pick anyone here out of this list, I would probably say Mizdow because they need to get. I think because they were the first ones to mention it on Raw this past Monday. Miz and Mizdow, Miz mentioned the Battle Royal, and so I think that's probably what's going to come down to the Miz and Mizdow. Mizdow's going to win. It's going to be some kind of thing, where Miz wants him to, eliminate him. Miz wants Mizdow to eliminate himself, and he won't do it, and Miz gets eliminated. So that's probably what will happen. So Mizdow will probably win that. A couple other rumored matches on the show. We have, one more rumored match. Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus. This is a lot of people. Or Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler is also another one being rumored as well. I guess I forgot about that one. But that's probably not going to happen. This is probably more likely to happen. Sheamus has not come back yet. He's being promoted on TV. They're showing these promo packages, him returning. He's probably going to come back as a heel and face Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. They've been trying to do this match. This is the rumor going around the internet. This is not just coming from me. They've been trying to do this match on WrestleMania the last couple of years. Last year they tried to do it. They actually did do it, obviously, at WrestleMania, was it 28 or 29? 2012. They did it in the 18-second match where Sheamus won the title. They did it the year before as a dark match in 2011. I think it was for the U.S. title, and Sheamus was the U.S. champion. So this will be the third match at WrestleMania. It just depends on how well they push Sheamus. I mean, Sheamus has to completely change his look. He's got to change everything about himself. He can't be the same. He has to be completely different. So we'll see what happens when he comes back. But, it's... and that's the rumored card right now. Obviously, there's probably going to be a Divas title match. We don't know what's going to be yet. Maybe AJ Lee will be involved. There's going to be obviously a tag team title match of some kind, probably, I suspect. The U.S. title, obviously, is going to be Cena Rusev. It's going to be the U.S. title. So that's it. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I guess there's also, Bray Wyatt. Okay, there's one big match for completely. It's not official yet, but it's obviously going to happen. Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker. That's the last match I'm going to mention here. I mean, it might be a decent match. Who knows? Undertaker was not looking too good last year. He had a concussion during the match against Brock Lesnar. I don't know. I don't know how much I really care about that match. I mean, it's just not as interesting because The Undertaker doesn't have the streak anymore. It's just not as interesting. But we'll see. It could be more. It actually is more interesting in some ways because you don't know who's going to win with this one. With last year, you did not think for a second that Brock Lesnar was going to win, and he won. But it does take away some drama. But in some ways, it adds more drama. The drama of because there's no more streak. Anybody could win that match. Anybody could win the Wyatt or Undertaker could win that match. So that's the new drama of the Undertaker at WrestleMania, because there's no more streak. Anything can happen. So that's going to do it for today. Join me next week. Hopefully, I'll be doing these more often. There hasn't been a lot of wrestling news the last month or two, which is kind of surprising. I mean, we're getting close to WrestleMania here. There isn't a ton of wrestling news for some reason. I don't know why. But there's definitely a lot of stuff to talk about. Just when it comes to like backstage news and crazy stuff, there hasn't been too much. But see you next time.